Greetings and salutations. This is another Dragon Bros video. This video is dedicated to the art form of fan fiction. No, I'm not going to divulge my fan fiction. Well, at least on not this video, but in future videos I may, but not now. But I'm just explaining my love for the genre. One of the things that I've got to know over my time of being a huge fan of pop culture is seeing the cosplay realm be a form of fan fiction, where you can have a Darth Vader in a pink tutu, or instead of having a Harry Potter, you can have a Harriet Potter. But most of all, this is the meaning behind it. Fan fiction is a new work, or to use a Lindsay Ellis term, transformative piece of fiction that uses characters, settings, worlds, or plot points from popular TV shows, books, comics, films, plays, anime, games, cartoons, and even historical periods. The historical periods is like to say that Abraham Lincoln was a vampire hunter. People call that uh, fan fiction, but no, people call that more periodic fiction. But if you are a fan of Abraham Lincoln and you wrote that because you thought that he was a total badass, guess what? Period fiction can virtually cross over into fan fiction. Like in a universe that I wrote actually, I will be bringing some of my like some past stories. In one of my past stories, I wrote that Al Gore defeated George Bush in winning the 2000 election. But unfortunately, I can't access the files as it was on a former hard drive and the previous hard drive got destroyed. Mm. Mm. And if the meaning and the continuation goes, usually fanfiction is created by fans who love the original work and want to further explore the lives of the characters that they know and love in the world in which they live. Which brings back to the which brings which can which for me, I would love to see this happen. A An Australian movie based on two Australian legends, Ned Kelly and Mark Chopper Read. I would love to see Mark Chopper Read learn from Ned Kelly, and Mark Chopper Read explain what happened a century or so later, after Ned Kelly's passing. Now that is historical fiction, but yet it is fan fiction as well. Or Mark Chopper Read becoming the Prime Minister of Australia. Now that would have been fun. And it continues, reading this off. Fans can both keep the creator's characters, settings, or themes, but rewrite in new characters to the story, set the characters in a different time period, and other such uh, ch- changes to the to the creator's characters and settings. It should be noted that fanfiction is mainly, if not mostly, free because the writers create their work based on the love or enjoyment to the original work. Through fanfiction, fans get to live out their wildest dreams with the characters that they love and enjoy. Ah, the beauty of this is you get to explore new aspects. And what I love about fan fiction is that you can rewrite a character. For me, and I'm going to use one of Lindsay Ellis's favorite Transformers, Starscream. Yep, the self-proclaimed second in command of the Decepticons within the Transformers universe. In my fanfiction, I could rewrite. I'll, I'll take away the robot and throw the robot away, and keep the name Starscream. What would you think the word Starscream or the name Starscream? Forget about that robotic transforming uh, Air Force plane, and let's prefigure it, shall we? Starscream, Starscream, Starscream. Well, you could use the name Starscream for a name for a cowboy. If not that, a raging bull. Like you can say, Sean Hickenbottom, as I'm going to be using, I'm just using Shawn Michaels' real name, well, real middle name and real last name in this bit of fan fiction. Michael Hickenbottom, sorry, it's Sean Hickenbottom. He recently came back from a radio injury, I, for, as he obtained the injuries by this massive, strong bull by the name of Starscream. And the reason why he's named Starscream is he makes the radio stars scream in pain. You see, Starscream, a big, massive bull that destroys rodeo cowboys and crushes them. That's one adaptation of the name Starscream. Let's think of another one, shall we? Mm, we could do it for a musical, for a heavy metal artist, or a heavy metal band name. you can say James Goldberg has just recently changed his name to Astro Starscream. See? This James Goldberg creation said, my stage name is more popular. I'm sick and tired of writing to, like, my name, James Goldberg, and signing autographs as Astro Starscream. So I'm just going to be changing my name to Astro or Astros Starscream, which is like you can say, you know what? It's time to get Astro, and I'm gonna Starscream the universe down to its foundation. And you can call me that. That's another way you can use fan fiction for a name. It's just a name. Like in the Carry On Camping movies, there was a Harry Potter. There was a Harry Potter in pop culture long before the Harry Potter in the J.K. Rowling novels. One can actually say that using Harry Potter as a male, you can say that the whole Harry Potter premise is based off of fan fiction, of retelling of the story of, instead of saying a big loudmouth woman, you got this little boy being locked away by his uncle underneath the stairs. Then you got so many other things where you can, and that's just like reinventing a name. Now let's reinvent like a universe. Use fan fiction in that. I Let me see. I could say in Cybertron, the Decepticons won the war. Now we are living in a peaceful regime under Lord Megatron, as he's got Optimus Prime and the other Prime's heads on a on a on the on energon rods, with their bodies making his throne. Long live Lord Megatron! Hoorah! That's reinventing the Transformers storyline. Another great thing to do with when it comes to fan fiction is that you can do a lot of it when it comes to reinventing. Like, I'm drinking Monster energy drink, but in a different world, this can be called Devil or Beast or Satan. And I'm using a real world product, a energy drink. In this world, I'm making a difference in the title here. Though you think, oh, that's Monster energy drink, and you can rename it anything you want in other formats. But still, I'm a fan of this energy drink company, and I would like to reinvent the name for another one. But yeah, it's just so amazing to to think about stories, even doing crossovers. Shit. One crossover you could actually come to mind is thinking about how you can cross two fantastic science fiction TV shows. Mm. To produce a brand, to produce a transformative piece of work. I'm talking about the TARDIS crash landing on the SS Enterprise. And yep, that is saying Doctor Who crossover with the 1960s TV show from America, Star Trek. As you can think that, and to let me just to Chuck and Lindsay Ellis here, and she was reading out a segment of a segment from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I'll do it in that voice context. The Doctor suddenly landed on the TARDIS. Suddenly landed on the holodeck of the SS Enterprise. He walks out. Looking like walking out of the TARDIS wearing a vintage 1970s wearing a beautiful earth toned bohemian 70s dress made up of predominant red and blue, while wearing a 1960s bell bottom pants, and wearing a 1980s cowboy denim lacy denim jacket with her looking like Emma Watson. In other words, I depict that this doctor is a woman who loves mixing up different period clothing as the bohemian 70s minis like a mini dress or a skirt with with a psychedelic rainbow bell bottoms and a 1980s denim jacket on top of that, and the footwear can be some like Air Jordans from the 90s. In other words, you got four decades of clothing all on this one on Emma Watson, and Emma Watson is the doctor in this in my fan fiction, with her companions looking nothing but looking with her companion looking like Russell Crowe in a Manchester United jersey, brought Russell Crowe like a man that looks like Russell Crowe, and his love affair with the Manchester United team. He wears the Manchester United gear. So just imagine those two people walking out of a blue police box inside of a holodeck of the Enterprise in the 1960s. Captain Uhura comes racing in there demanding the Doctor why did they crash land in the holodeck of the USS Enterprise. Then the Doctor would say, well, why did you bring your this spaceship into the path of the TARDIS? And as you see, you got that sort of dynamic going, and that's just like a small segment of what you can actually think of, like getting the character getting two actors that were started in other properties, like Emma Watson. She played Hermione Granger. She's playing the Doctor in this scenario. You got Russell Crowe, who starred as Jor-El, Kal-El's father in the Star Wars in the Superman franchise, and My Lieutenant Uhura. I'd actually, if I was to put it in today's day and age, like today's actors, I would actually cast Jenna Ortega to play Lieutenant Uhura, not Lieutenant Uhura, Captain Uhura. And it's just so wonderful. You can like even the artwork. Fan fiction does not exactly have to be within the written realms. It can be done in the artistic realms as well. Like I've seen Captain Kirk be pregnant with Spock's kid. I've seen artwork where the TARDIS from Doctor Who is racing the phone box from Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure to cosplay. Like I gender bent Amy Pond, and when I found females who dressed like the Doctor, I hid behind them and had photos taken. I mean to say, you're the Doctor, you're the one supposed to be protecting me. Though I am a male and they're the female, you're the Doctor, you're playing a male character, I'm playing a female character, and boom. And and yeah, it's to see that fan fiction is a beneficial thing to bear witness to be an awe of. Be it, as I said, in the written word, reading a story that Jonah Hex happened to come into New York City. He goes, "Is that what the years have brought me to? Oh, damn it! I should have died in those. Should have died 100 years ago." But then you have him meet the Crow. Brandon Lee's the Crow, and he goes, "Ooh, time bends us all." And they get into a bit of a fight. Then after that, they become friends, and like they can become allies, and end up fighting a common enemy. Or they align themselves with Al Simmons, aka Spawn. Like Spawn sees them two fighting, they go, "You idiots! You know there's a greater evil. You're what? You're you're a Confederate soldier, and you're a rock star. There's a real devil coming up. I know, because he brought me back to life." Yeah, that sort of thing. Makes Spawn, the Crow, Jonah Hex in this one epic bit of fan fiction. And again, it's just so amazing to be a part of a generation of creators that's been fed by influences that didn't affect their life. Like with the Superman comics, it was, and to be honest with you, Superman is a Jew. He was created by a Jewish uh, by a Jewish duo, and he fought and destroyed the Nazis. So, yeah, Jews 1, Nazi 0. But then we can actually look at the Batman character, and we can write in his fanfic bio that he is an atheist, doesn't believe in the spiritual stuff, and he hires a team of assassins from the League of Shadows to police Gotham. Leaving Jim Gordon in the dust. He still adopts uh, Dick Grayson. He allows Barbara Gordon to be in his inner circle of friends, and he's married to Selena Kyle. That's one. That's one bit of fan fiction right there. Gave premise to another bit of fan fiction. And there's just talking about it is giving me more to feed off. Like as I may mention, I am a huge fan of Super Sentai. I could have an Upper Ranger and a Shinkenza, or shall we say the dinosaur Power Ranger Squad 2 and the Samurai Sentai with the Pirate Sentai. With them saving the Super Sentai universe with the 45th season, with them being the backup to the 45th season. And again, just thinking about that, you're gonna add that Mecha Godzilla is not really Mecha Godzilla, but a destroyed Dragon Zord, well, the Green Dragon Zord from the Mighty Morphin series, rebuilt, redesigned, repurposed to become the most destructive thing that can destroy Godzilla. And just thinking about all of this is bloody amazing. And dare I say it, an art form that should not be crushed. Like you can do like a Frozen Mortal Kombat crossover where Elsa is Sub-Zero's baby sister, who later became Frost. With her coming back saying, "Big brother, let it go." Or mix Mortal Kombat with the Scorpion King / the original Mummy series. The Scorpion King, the spirit of the Scorpion, great in his warrior prowess, goes from warrior to warrior, in generation to generation. With generation to generation means the rise of one empire with the rise and fall of empires. That is a generation. No matter if it lasts 6 months or 60 years, that in that story setting is a generation. Then, in the 1930s, a baby, Hanzo, was born. Born as a Scorpio, under a blood red moon. The warrior spirit of the Scorpion enters Hanzo as he screams his first scream into the world. Trained in the martial arts throughout the First World War, but his teacher dies in one of the nuclear bombs that dropped on Japan soil. With the fire still burning his body as an older teenage male. His body's burning. Then Shang Tsung came forth and said, "Ah, Scorpio, I will give you your body back, but you must work for me." And Shao Kahn of Outworld. Hanzo says yes. And the great souls of the warriors of the Scorpion had returned, giving Hanzo the strength of 1,000,000,000 men and the ability to shoot out retractable daggers on chains. So begins the saga of Scorpion. You see, firstly, the Scorpion was a southern Middle Eastern character. But then over time, the character became, like you can see the character was once, you could say that the character was the Red Baron from World War One. But then you can also say the Scorpion was a Greek who fought against the Persian Empire. Then you can say that the Scorpion spirit went to Joan of Arc with a venom, with a poisonous tongue. And that's where fan fiction, and again, I just gave you example after example after example of why fan fiction is a beautiful concept when it comes to pop culture art. You can do the Winchester brothers meeting up with the Ghostbusters. Like the Winchesters go to the firehouse and say, and literally give the Ghostbusters a warning. They go, "You're nothing but scientists. You're not trained for this. Go back to entertain the little children and stripping for and doing all that stripping bullshit that you do to entertain the women. This is real paranormal activity. We're here in New York to stop it." Then one of the Ghostbusters say, "Where are you from?" "You're on our turf. All the paranormal stuff goes through us, not through you." Then someone went through the story. The Winchesters are in this abandoned building, seeing if the markings were true on certain markings that were on corpses. And then you just see this 4 proton energy packed laser beams, 1 going on each side of the Winchesters, with one of the Ghostbusters saying, "We told you outsiders to get lost. We don't need you here." Followed by something that brings the two teams together. They find out what it is. The Ghostbusters use the proton energy packs, like the proton accelerators, blast down this contains this creature, and the Winchesters, they go, we would rather seal it," and they would do some sealing spell, and the sealing spell contains the that creature, and the Winchesters pick it up and go, "If to be on the safe side," as one of the Ghostbusters goes, "You want this?" In other words, did the ghost trap, and goes, "Yeah, you might as well put it in with the rest of those, with the rest of those those spirits." Boom, throws that into the ghost trap. Go back to the firehouse. Insert. Unleashes this statue into the null void, into what I'll call like the null void or the phantom zone or whatever. I just haven't seen this figure going into the distance, or reading about going into the distance, or seeing the movie of the figure going into the distance. Oh, whiffs. 40 minutes speaking about fan fiction and how fan fiction can entertain people. Again, it is dare I say it, the best way to get your feelings out about a piece of entertainment that you like. And dare I say it, no piece of history nor entertainment will stop the majesty and the beauty of fanfiction. I am Dragon Barrows, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye.